Mecha Ellie-chan is from the series FGO or Fate Grand Order, and people who know my history with Fate. I love Fate! And Ellie-chan here is based off the real historical figure Elizabeth Bathory, whom was a Romanian duchess famous for being a literal vampire. And what is better than a vampire than combining the kawaii bishoujo aesthetics into a literal mech?
Japan is fucking dead.
Looking closely at the face, Good Smile Company has implemented their magic once again as they have beautifully implemented the 2D face with Ellie-chan possessing the oh-so kawaii face, especially with the large anime eyes, petite nose, and a beautiful smile, making you forget about the fact that this mech was based off a real-life serial killer. But besides the ordinary face, there's also the blushing face that ups the kawaii factor and makes me wonder why developed countries tend to bear less children. But seriously, the blush is just perfect in portraying when Ellie-chan is either embarrassed or in distress, probably because she's a tsundere. There's also an angry face when Ellie-chan is in distress or she's trying to convey her feelings.
And not just the men, but the women and the children too. They're like animals, and I slaughtered them like animals.
And there's a blank angry face that is used for another effect later down the line, or when she's about to lose her consciousness or experience great pleasure. When observing the rest of the head, it is a beauty to behold as the metallic pink hair pieces add extra definition and beauty to an already great character design, especially the hair design being upfloat and swaying in the wind. And there's the two horns on top of the head, which are superb in sculpt, but more impressive regarding the metallic grade paint job that adds an extra layer of immersion into the figure. And by looking at the entirety of Ellie-chan's face, moving down, the body, just like the face, is superbly detailed, in which the sculpt and paint job is flawless, as the pink, gray, and white are naturally blended in alongside the patterns embedded onto it. But when closely monitoring the body, my girl here is flat. Moving down, the skirt is composed of two layers, a thin upper layer and a colorful layer down below that thickens the skirt and is used as a missile launcher, as it comes with 4 separate missile pieces. A set in which the entirety of the missile is revealed and can be attached with a blast effect as to replicate the missile in effect. There's another set in which only the warhead is portrayed as if the missile is still within Ellie-chan and is in the early stages of effect. Or if you really want, you can place the missile back into Ellie-chan by first splitting the legs and secondly by shoving it in. Look at the legs, just like the body, possesses the diamond patterns. But besides such aspects, the legs are a completely different story, as firstly, the thighs are thick, abiding by the standards of Fate waifus, and being a mech, the knees are literally mechanical in design, with them opening up to show their inner components. And there's literally no separate foot piece, and instead just attach the leg in its entirety. But looking closely, with a separate sharp edge on the feet for puncturing hostiles alongside other love interests. Looking at the mechanical tail, it is enormous, with it even surpassing that of the king of the monsters himself. This is not to mention the craftsmanship involved, as the intricate shapes embedded onto them are hard to witness even in kaiju figures. That and the additional spikes at the end of the tail with a beautiful metallic pink paint job, making a formidable weapon and reminding me of a particular mech. When it comes to mechs, they're usually accompanied by an assortment of accessories that enable the particular mech to portray its various forms and poses depicted in their respective media. In doing so, product lines such as Bandai's high-grade and real-grade lines are provided with a variety of accessories, starting off with excess hands to separate weaponry. With the more expensive the figure is, the larger the assortment of accessories are provided, minus a few exceptions. With that said, does Ellie-chan come with such assortment? Besides the faces previously mentioned, Ellie-chan is accompanied by an assortment of hands. Besides your fists, there's your open hands and holding hands in order for Ellie-chan to hold her wings as blades in order to slice and dice Monkey!
Shit, what the fuck? Why you gonna fucking attack me?
The fucking
no
door.
way! After you fucking kick my ass over there, it's your turn!
Okay.
Talking about weaponry, Ellie-chan comes with 2 drills that are used for carving up flesh, and with the drills attached, it reminds me of another mech. This is just arm mounts with features of Mecha Godzilla. Besides weaponry, Ellie-chan is accompanied by a variety of effect pods, the first of which being the blast effects, which have been seen numerous times and are used for either offensive purposes, such as being attached to fists and rockets for propulsion purposes, in which they add to either propelling the mech and weaponry in midair. There's also a purple or pink lighting effect that acts as literal cum from the tail and aids in Ellie-chan releasing There's also a dual laser effect which is used in the previous Ahegao phase mentioned where the beams can be fitted as if they were being fired from the eyes. Perfect, as it abides by Elizabeth Bathory's vampiric nature. There's also these missile effects that act as ranged projectiles fired from the finger. Well, Mechagodzilla all the way. With Ellie-chan here being a literal mech, she towers over most of her peer Fate characters and stands toe-to-toe with even kaiju figures. With that said, Ellie-chan stands at 18 centimeters or 7 inches, making her a tall girl. Here's Ellie-chan next to Gunpla, Aya Toys, Star Wars Black Series, and fellow Fate Figmas. When regarding posability, as my first Hagane Works line figure, which was made by the Good Smile company and as being the company behind the Figma line, I expected a decent amount of articulation. So, let's see what Ellie-chan has in stock for us. The head, even with the long hair, is posable. The shoulders can move only to a certain extent. Superb elbow bend. Free hand movement. The body, even though it looks superb, has a perfectly fitted bend line, allowing for a huge bend. The individual skirt pieces can move up and down. And regarding leg split, as a saint, I have to preserve my purity. What's wrong with you Catholics and you're taking advantage over minors? Knee bend is superb, and the tail bend is decent, but nowhere near the range of Godzilla. Now, while Ellie-chan is a beauty by itself, a figure here with the power of Jesus turning water into wine can become two separate figures. And here's the metal dragon, which just like Mechagodzilla acts as an unmanned aerial vehicle. Sound familiar? And looking closely at the drone, it basically has all the firepower that Ellie-chan possesses into a single platform. Or basically, Mecha Ellie-chan minus the lolly. And would make Transformers fans proud as it is a literal metal dragon or mech, making it a formidable weapon. But if they strictly abided to mech authenticity, the figure wouldn't have sold so well, as Fate fans are a horny bunch that would only simp over anime waifus. In conclusion, Mecha Ellie-chan is a unique set as it possesses the traits inherent in a mech, but the base figure is literally an anime waifu, as it is a Fate figure, making it the best of both worlds. This is in addition to the numerous accessories, wide range of articulation, and her resemblance to my favorite VTuber, making it a great figure in which I would highly recommend and
love him, that, right?
For what you did and contributed. But after all this time,
You didn't ever talk about me.
even if I creeped up in every video.
But you've seen how Star Wars characters perform. It would be suicide at this point, let alone a shriveled up senior citizen.
Then it's probably time.
For the Emperor to become an anime waifu.